Hey guys, I am Tara Goodwin and I wanted to share with you some stuff that I've made. So this freaks people out when I tell them, but these are actually not photographs. These are just photorealistic watercolor paintings I did. It took me about 63.5 hours to get the reflectiveness of the left lens just right, but I think it really worked for this painting. This is Medusa in acrylic paint on the left, and in blue ink on the right is her brother Marlborough, who is the keeper of American outlaws, gamblers, and duels. This one is an acrylic portrait of Mitch McConnell. Oh, no, sorry, this one is Franklin the Turtle. You don't often see him in his natural habitat like this, and he actually wanted to wear his backpack for the portrait sitting, but unfortunately it wasn't waterproof, so we weren't able to do that. This is an acrylic painting I did of my friend Pete. He actually hates this portrait because he said that his beak looks too much like his mother's or something. I'm not really sure. My translator app doesn't work great with squawking yet. Here's another sitting that I did with Pete for this lino cut print that I did. He really insisted on wearing the dinner jacket for this because he wanted to use it for his Tinder profile. On the right is a charcoal drawing that I did of my little sister back when she was a milkmaid in the 1840s. These are portraits of my dog Heidi. She is exactly as smart as she looks like she is in these paintings, which is great. We don't have to save any money for her college education. She's never going to get there. This is what happens when you know how to technically knit, but you don't know how to knit well enough to not follow a pattern. You just keep adding stitches, and then when you're finished and take them off the round needles you've been using, you realize that you've knit a blanket for a school bus instead of a blanket for a human. And here's a classic skull painting I did in acrylic paints on black paper. This was inspired by the rainbow and Timothy Leary experiments. I made a weird bird called a golden pheasant out of paper. I made a paper mache body and then I cut out each individual feather by hand. The paper rendering is on the left and the real bird is on the right. Salvador Dali painted a set of playing cards once, and this is what happens when I forge them in acrylic paint on canvas sheets. Oh, these are actual photographs that were taken in the lab of my ab muscles after doing 1, 5, and 7 sit-ups. I am really glad that I live in Texas because this means that I can take my gun anywhere with me. Even to the hospital, as you can see, I used my glue gun nearly every day I was there to make things like this. This one's actually really special. See, after the terrible fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral in 2019, there was a lot that needed restoring. So naturally, they tapped me to do one of the stained glass windows, which I was just very honored to do. Instead of the traditional method of stained glass, where glass is stained, I actually was able to do a new technique that is, just not commonly used yet, using only a small paper measuring tape from a pick line kit and a bunch of permanent markers. On the left is the incredibly intricate planning page that me and a whole team of stained glass artists worked on for months and months before we were able to render the actual thing on the right. So on the right is the finished product, which is the loft space in the first colonnade. It looks out over the popular Rue de la Boulevardier du Croissant. These are 2 different wall hangings that I've made while I was in the hospital. They're each about 3 feet wide. All you need to do these are paper, obviously your trusty glue gun, and a bunch of tape from those rolls that are left sitting all over your room. Here are colors, even one shiny color, based on colors found in paints and inspired by food coloring, a variety of yoga mats, Skittles, every shade of Le Creuset cookware, and Tiger Woods. And here's a bouquet of crepe paper flowers that I make. I can barely keep myself alive, much less plants or real flowers, so these are a great alternative to killing things. Thank you guys.